Hey there, welcome back to Lima Bean Crafting. In today's video, I will be showing you how I made these two utensil holders using only one Dollar Tree product. So let's get to it. For this craft, I used one box of faux leather from the Dollar Tree, along with some hot glue and my Cricut. However, you could easily make this using some scissors and an X-Acto knife. The first thing I did was measure my silverware relative to the faux leather. I wanted to have the tops of the silverware exposed, and I also wanted to have some space in between the silverware to create pockets later on. I ended up going with the pocket being about 6.5 inches wide and 4.5 inches tall, but we will be doubling this length since it will become a pocket and we have to fold the fabric up on itself. I also measured out the length of the strip that will eventually hold the utensils together. This length was about 10 inches long. Next, I headed over to Cricut Design Space and created a square, unlocked the image, and changed the dimensions to be 6.5 inches wide and 9 inches tall. I moved this rectangle to the 0, 0 position and added another square. Unlocked the image and changed the dimensions of this square to be 10 inches wide and 1 inch tall. I repositioned this rectangle to have the X coordinate be 6.5 and the Y coordinate be 0. This lines it up right next to the first rectangle. Then I selected both rectangles and clicked Weld. Next, we are going to add some cut lines by selecting Shapes and Score Line. Adjust the height of this first line to be 5.5 inches and change the operation to be a basic cut. Duplicate this cut line and rotate it 90 degrees. Next, position the line to be at X coordinate 8 and Y coordinate 0.333. Then, rotate the duplicated cut line 90 degrees and position this line to be at X coordinate 8 and Y coordinate 0.667. We are now going to add one more cut line. Select Shapes, then Score Line. Change the operation to be a basic cut and modify the height to be 0.5 inches tall. Position this cut line to be at X coordinate 7.25 and Y coordinate 0.25. The next step is to click Shapes and select Diamond. Unlock this shape and change the height to be 5 inches and the width to be 1 inch. Then rotate the diamond 90 degrees and position it to be at X coordinate 14.5 and Y coordinate 0. Next, we are going to select both the diamond and our welded shape and click Slice. Delete all of the pieces except our welded shape with a now snake tongue looking strip. Finally, we are going to select our shape and our 3 cut lines and click Attach. Now we are ready to cut out our design. In order to get 2 utensil holders from one sheet of the Dollar Tree faux leather, I moved the design to the far right of my 12 by 24 inch mat, clicked Continue, and chose my materials. I chose the faux leather paper thin option and used my fine point blade. Then I took out my faux leather and laid it pretty side down on the mat. I smoothed it out and let my Cricut do its thing. However, again, this design could easily be cut out using some scissors and an X-Acto knife. So if you don't have a Cricut, no worries. After the Cricut was done, I decided to cut out a second design. So I moved the faux leather and repeated the cut. However, I'm sure if you wanted to cut out 2 of these designs at once, that would have been easier. I'm thinking of making some kind of bookmark with the remaining faux leather, so let me know in the comments if you want to see this done. Okay, moving on to the assembly. I took a poll earlier on which braid you all preferred, and almost everyone preferred the top braid. So let's assemble it together. Essentially, we are going to be braiding the 3 strips that were created by our 2 cut lines in our design, but in a special way. Begin by first taking the right strand and placing it over the middle strand. Then the left strand over the new middle strand. Finally, the new right strand over the new middle strand, just like a normal braid. But stop here. Take the end of our tangled strip of faux leather and feed it through the hole between the current middle and right strands of the braid. Next, we are going to continue the braid by taking the left strand over the middle strand, the right strand over the middle strand, and finally the left strand over the middle strand and stop. Take the end of our tangled strip of faux leather and feed it through the hole between the current left and middle strands of the braid. This will untangle our faux leather and complete the braiding cycle. To create the loose braid that so many of you liked, we need to do 2 cycles of this braiding technique. If you want the tighter braid, do 3 complete braiding cycles. I would suggest braiding the strands pretty tight at the beginning to ensure there is space at the end to complete the braiding cycle. Then even out the braid, tightening the looser parts and loosening the tighter parts until it looks the way you want it to.
They said, don't fall, don't forget all the things you've been taught, you've been told. Don't blink, don't run, don't turn left or turn right or look straight at the sun. My mind's going in circles, I'm trying to fight it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again. Oh, you won't see the light until the
Here's the process again in case you are a visual person.
till it's all said and done. You won't know what it takes. Gotta make a wrong turn and turn around. Gotta fall fast to pick yourself up off the ground. Until you get lost, you'll never be found. And you can't start again until you break down. Break down. Until you break down. They said, be meek. Look beneath the bed before you go to sleep. Keep on, I shine. You'll surely get burned if you reach out and touch. My mind is a battle, I'm trying to hide it. Getting these voices inside to stay quiet. Gone to the place where all this began. Just start again.
So with the Dollar Tree faux leather, the backside definitely gives away the value of the fabric. If this bothers you, you might be able to attach 2 sheets of the faux leather together before cutting it out and assembling the utensil holder. But speaking of the assembly, the final step is to create our little pockets for the utensils. To do this, I drew lines at the 1/3 mark and 2/3 mark of the width of the rectangle. This is at about 2.2 inches and 4.3 inches. Next, we are going to place some hot glue at the edge of our faux leather and connect the ends together, creating our pocket. Then hot glue along each of the lines and the other end, attaching the leather as you go. If you don't want to use hot glue, I'm sure fabric glue would work fine too. It will probably just take longer to dry. Finally, we can assemble the utensil holder by placing the utensils in the 3 pockets, rolling them up, topping it off with our napkin, and then taking the braid and wrapping it all the way around the napkin and front of the utensil holder. To secure the braid, take the 2 snake tongue-like strands and feed them through the small cut in the faux leather and pull tight. I am really happy with how this craft turned out, and I hope you are too. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will catch you in the next one.